Well, good morning. It's Thursday. It's about 10:30 in the morning, and I'm up here. I had some things I had to do this morning, so I figured I'd get a walk in before it gets too hot. It's really nice and cool here. It's about 27 degrees Celsius, but the AQI is about 80. The air's starting to get a little bit smoky now because we've had no rain. But other than that, everything's really going good. Everybody's getting ready for Loikatong, and as best I can tell, I'll probably come up Wednesday night and try to hit 3 or 4 different locations and give you an idea of what's going on. It's kind of hard to tell. The way they announce what they're going to do is kind of confusing, so you really don't know what's going on. But I think Wednesday night will probably be the best night for me, and they're starting to decorate around the gates, and you know, things are looking pretty up here. But today I thought we'd just kind of walk around down this way, and I want to stop in and see the Sweet Coffee lady and her daughter and see how they're doing. And I've got a little story to tell you about a poor guy here that got really snookered really bad. It's one of Lex's stories, so I'm kind of having to ad lib and put some into it and go from there. But I appreciate everybody that's come into the channel and left comments, and I appreciate everybody that's bought us coffee. I was really surprised. We really appreciate that. But anyway, we're going to get walking. I'm going to show you some of the decorations that they have here, and we'll go from there. I'll plot this out on the map so you know exactly where we're at. But I think we'll go down here and we'll make a left and then go down to the right to where her coffee shop is and say hello, and then come back out on this road and walk straight. But they've got the lanterns up set up at every one of the gates now. Now I'm not sure whether they're going to have an actual parade or whether they're going to just set the floats up at each one of the gates. That's what they did last year, but I had read that they were going to have a parade this year. Now what it entails, I don't really know. But they've got these set up at all 4 of the gates. And they've even got a bigger display that they're putting up at Chiang Mai Gate. It'll be real pretty. I'm going to try to get up here at night and get some night shots. A lot of people up here moving around. But we're going to go left here and walk down this way. I'll use the crosswalk here. Not that it will do me much good. He's going to let me go. Thank you. Make sure the other one stops. That's usually what happens, is one car will stop, but the one in the outside lane won't. And I've seen several times where people have almost got nailed. But anyway, the story I'm going to tell you about today, it's kind of a funny story. It's a little bit sad, but you hear about these things and you think, how in the world does it happen? But this guy, he's probably 25, 26 years old, and he runs a fitness center in Bangkok. And he's kind of a personal trainer. And he's also very active on social media, promoting his services. Well, one day a lady comes pulling in. I say a lady, she's probably 26, 27 years old, comes pulling up in a nice Mercedes up to his business. And she wants to hire him for a personal trainer for 3 months. And I think he charges something like $20,000 a month to be a personal trainer. Well, she goes ahead and signs up for a month and a half. She pays him half of it. And she comes to the training, you know, I guess every day or every other day or whatever they set it up, but during the day. And things are going well. They're getting along real well. and then she wants to change her classes to nights. So he says, sure, no problem. Hello. And hey, so they switched to night classes. Let's see if I can get across the street here. So this goes on for about another couple weeks. Yeah, we're gonna go right here. And he's, he's just an average guy. He's living in a 4,000 baht a month room, and she takes him to her place, and she's got a business set up where she's doing stuff online, and seems to be relatively successful. He's eating this stuff up. She's spending money on him and taking him places and doing all kinds of stuff, and she kind of woos him. Well, one day he gets a text message from her. Hello. And it's a picture. It's a picture of a pregnancy test, and she's pregnant. Yeah, we'll come in here and say hello. I'm gonna stop the story right here, and I'll start it back up after we say hello to her, if she's here. Hello. I came by to say hello. How are you?
Hi, I'm well, and you?
Good, good. Oh, you're same student. Swadee Cop, same boy. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how to say thank you.
You don't have to thank me.
Customer
Good.
Follow me from my agent, my little agent, for YouTube.
Good.
They asked me, and I saw on YouTube or something like that.
Good.
I took photo of them, and I had time to post my Facebook.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure you had a good business.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And the last year, he arrived Chiang Mai.
Yeah.
For plane, and then he got backpack.
Yeah.
And just arrived, and then came to me.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
Great.
I find my little agent and me. And
Yeah. Well, that's great.
I'll show you a photo.
Okay.
อะไรนะคะ เดี๋ยวตะวันนี่นะ I want to show you the man. Oopsie. This man.
Okay. Yeah.
Where Canada Galati, and then this family.
Great.
They're so cute and very kind.
Oh, that's great.
And another family.
Oh, yeah. You sent me that one. Yeah.
This family is just so cute, and he's very kind and so sweet. Yeah.
Great.
Sometimes I was busy, and I had a photo.
Yeah.
The man with the America, something like that, and the Thai man with his friend is from the Canada or something like that.
Yeah. Great.
Thank you very
My
much.
pleasure. Listen, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do a walk, and then I'll come back and get a coffee before I go back to the car.
I think the Thai lady said to me, you from sea, you visit the sea. Your wife and you visit to the sea.
Yeah. We just got back from Koh Samet.
Cosmo.
Yeah, last week, and
sounds
then
good.
in January we're going to Koh Good and Koh Mak.
Really? Sounds
Yeah,
good.
have a good day.
Enjoy.
Okay, I'll see you in a little while.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Okay.
Bye.
Where's your daughter? Is she in school? School?
Yeah, I pick up her at 3 p.m.
Okay, because I want to bring my wife by. I want my wife to meet you and your daughter.
Please, they're very
Okay, see you in a little while. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Sweet lady. Well, I am so glad that I'm able to help her. That's part of why I do this. It's kind of my way of giving back to the people what I'm taking from them living here, and it's kind of a privilege for me to live here, and if I can help somebody out, I'm all willing to do that. Hello. But anyway, back to the story. She sends him a picture of a home pregnancy test. And he's all excited, you know, he's going to be a daddy now. And then she also sends him a picture of the ultrasound showing the baby in her. And he's just, you know, he's just elated, you know. This is, you know, the kind of relationship he was looking for, and finally he's going to find the perfect woman and have a family and all that. So, you know, a lot of guys would be, you know, be saying, oh crap, you know, I got a girl pregnant. But he was happy about it. He was, you know, he was enthused and, excuse me, and ready to start a family. And he takes her home to meet his family. And they seem to like her and everything, and so then they go ahead and they get married. And she makes sure that it's an actual marriage where it's certified. And they get a certificate of marriage. And then she has him move out of his 4,000 baht room into an 18,000 baht condo. And you know, they're living happy as husband and wife, traveling around, and you know, there's TikTok pictures of them going all kinds of different places and stuff, and she's buying clothes and really living a kind of a lavish lifestyle. Well, after they get married, she tells him that, you know, she likes to shop and she likes to buy stuff, and she doesn't like to put it on her credit cards because she uses her credit cards for her business. So would he mind giving her the credit cards? So, you know, he's got no problem with it. You know, that's his wife, and they're married and everything's going real good. So he gives her 2 credit cards. And then apparently he had given another girl a credit card that he had dated, and he got that back and gave it to her. So she had like 3 credit cards of his. And she's just, you know, going shopping and buying all kinds of stuff. And as time goes by, you know, maybe a month or whatever, he starts noticing that she's not coming around that much, and he's not seeing as much of her as he had been seeing. And he tries to put a tracking device on her, and she deletes it off her phone. This is per the article, for what I could read through Google Translate. Well, one night she calls him and tells him not to come back to the apartment. Now I wonder if we can walk down here. I don't know if I know I've been this way. Let's walk out, stay on this street. Hello. Hello. She calls him and tells him that her family has come, and there's a bunch of them over at the house, and he'd be better off not coming home for a while because they're sitting around eating, and he wouldn't really enjoy it. And it doesn't really say if he ever meets her family or not. I don't know. The article didn't say that, so it's hard to tell. And maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. But anyway, he says, okay, you know, I'll just stay here at the gym, and I'll come home later. So he waits and waits and waits and waits and waits, and she never calls him. So he decides to just go on home. Well, unfortunately, on the way home, he has an accident, and he's injured. So they take him to the hospital, and he's trying to text her and trying to call her, and she's not answering his calls. And picking up his messages or anything like that. So he calls his parents, and they come down and get him and take him back to his house. So he gets to his house, and he's pretty much laid up. He tells his father, he says, you know, to go get on the computer and check something. Hello. Hello. And his father comes back in and says, what computer? There's no computer. And he says, my computer, my Apple computer. He says, there's no computer in the apartment. Then they get to checking. Not only was his computer was gone, all of her stuff was gone. His watch was gone, his camera had been taken, and a bunch of other stuff. So he's saying, what? And she's not answering any of his calls or his text messages. So he goes down to security, and they look at the security cameras for that night. Sure enough, that night, her and three guys are seen taking all of the stuff out of the apartment. And he doesn't know who they are. He recognizes her, but he doesn't know who the people are. And then he starts getting bills for his credit cards. She had called the bank. He had a credit limit of about 200,000 baht on the credit cards, and she had called the bank and got his credit limit raised to over 1 million baht on the credit cards, and she had maxed them all out, every one of them. And he's freaking. So he ends up going to the police, and say, hey, this is what's happened, and I've been scammed, and she's charged up all my credit cards, taken all my stuff. And the police basically look at him and say, well, that's your wife, right? You're legally married, right? He says, yep. And they tell him there's absolutely nothing they can do. They can't, they can't go after her. They can't do anything. Husband and wife, it's community property. And he was on the hook for whatever she had charged up. Then it turns out he goes to a lawyer, and the lawyer does some investigating, and they try to find out where she got the ultrasound done. Well, they didn't have any record of it. And the lawyer looks at the picture on his phone, and on the ultrasound it had a date on it. The date of the ultrasound was over a year before. It wasn't a current ultrasound. It was a year old. So he's pretty much figured out he's been shammed. And the lawyer, basically tells him the same thing that the cops tell him. But it turns out this woman had 3 other husbands. She had 4 children. 2 from her first marriage, and 1 from her third. Her third husband had been a doctor. Her first husband was a medical salesman, and second husband was an army man. And he went on social media with it, and people just started coming out of the woodwork. Apparently, she had was doing a mail order company on the internet, and one particular guy she sold a watch to for like 20,000 baht, and when he got the package, it was just some kids' toys, and he was after her, and just everybody was just going nuts. But this guy's kind of between a rock and a hard spot. His lawyer says if he can prove that the marriage was done under false pretenses, that he can probably get some type of relief for the guy. Whether he can do that or not is still yet to be seen. Now, he went on, and Thailand has a version of Jerry Springer, and he went on the program and talked about it. Hello, no, I'm okay, thank you. And the people that interviewed him looked into her past, and she really had a shady background. So there's no telling. Now she's supposed to come on it, and Lex going to watch it and tell me, so I'll probably have an episode 2 here. But this poor guy, he's hung and strung. He's liable for whatever she charged on the credit cards and the stuff that she took. It's just as much hers as it is his. And it's funny, I'll go back to when I was a cop. We had this attorney in town that was, he was a real piece of crap. I didn't like him. He was cocky and arrogant. And matter of fact, one of my buddies that got a divorce, he represented his wife, and my buddy just about got in a fight with him in the courtroom. This guy was just a pain in the ass. But he reports a burglary. He's splitting up with his wife, and he reports a burglary to his house. She's already moved out, and somebody come in and taken some of his stuff, and all of her stuff, and plugged up the toilets, plugged up the sinks, left the water running in, just a bunch of nasty stuff. Hello. And I knew, when I read the report, I knew what it was. And he called me, and he was all upset. And he said, I know she's done it. I know she's done it. And I told him, I said, well, buddy, I said, if she's done it, what you know as well as I do, there's not a darn thing in the world I can do to her. Yeah, I know. And she had hooked up, his wife had hooked up with another ex-cop who was a piece of work. He had got fired for stealing. And I think we'll walk through here. And they had sat out and watched the outside when he wasn't home, while she went in and destroyed the house. And I called her on the phone. When I got the report, I called her on the phone, and I said, "Now, I'm gonna tell you straight up." I said, "If you did this, there's not a thing in the world I can do to you." And I said, "But if you didn't," I said, "I need to investigate it, and I need to put a lot of man hours into it. And if I come to the same conclusion that you did do it and you didn't tell me, then you're looking at, it could be an obstruction of justice charge or some type of charge. There was a charge that I could have charged her with if she lied to me." And, but I said, "If you tell me the truth," I said, "there's nothing I can do. I'm going to mark the case closed, and I'm going to reclassify it as a domestic dispute." And she kind of snickers and she goes, "Yeah, it was me." And she says, "That son of a bitch, I just got tired of him." And she made a mess of the house. She clogged the drains up with toilet paper, left the water running, tore up his sheets and some of his expensive suits and things. And had he been there at the time, it was probably some kind of charge that we could have put on her, but she was never a threat to him. So I called him back up and I said, "Buddy," I said, "you're a lawyer, you know the law." And she's told me she's done it. And he kind of sighed and he said, "Okay," he says, not a lot can be done about it. And they ended up getting a divorce. I don't know what actually happened. She did end up with the piece of crap ex-cop. And he passed away about, I guess it was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. But he was a piece of work. You know, he'd come into court and his suits were just, you know, every hair on his head was in place, and suits were all high dollar suits. And he really wasn't a good lawyer. He was just a good bullshitter. And I didn't have any criminal cases with him, because he was one of those guys that he handled cases that, you know, were divorce cases and, you know, disputes about wills and things like that. So I never really had any criminal cases with him. Van Lana Walking Street, huh? And there's a nice hotel back in there as well. Let's see, I think we are going to go left here. And we're going to come out at, I believe, Wat Phra Singh. But, you know, stuff like that happens, and it's kind of obvious to me that she was well aware of the fact that if she married him and had a certificate, there was nothing that could be done to her. He was basically on the hook for everything. And it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. And like I said, after she goes on TV and Lek watches it and relays it to me, I'll kind of update this video, let y'all know what happened. It's funny. Lek, I wish I could get Lek to tell these stories. They're so hilarious the way she tells them. And she's got these big eyes that, you know, like she can't believe it's actually happening. Maybe one day I'll just leave it with her. Tell you what, I'm gonna walk into it for those of you that have never seen it. It's a really beautiful temple. A lot of people here. Ah, you got a tour group. Really beautiful. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you doing? Good.
Now are you quick?
Back to my car. Oh, yeah, this place will look pretty at night. All right, well, I'm gonna walk back and get a cup of coffee from Coffee Lady and go get something to eat. And I've got a couple of errands that I need to run while I'm in town. One of them is to pay my house payment, and I do that and go get something to eat and then head for the house. I appreciate y'all stopping in. I appreciate all the good comments. I mean, I really, when I read them, it just floored me. You know, I'm glad that you all are enjoying the content and enjoying the stories and all that. But anyway, I'm gonna head back to the car. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.